getting warmer weather. The turkeys
Well,
are thriving.
everything is moving north. Somewhere, I think in one scrapbook, I've had a list of things that have moved north since we've lived here. You
Quite a
know.
few birds have.
Yeah,
The
well,
mockingbird, the cardinal, tufted titmouse.
yeah, mourning doves. Never you see those here.
I guess you didn't.
No.
They're very common now.
Yeah. Incidentally, I should tell you that we have, as of yesterday, we had indigo buddings were back.
Oh.
So
You did?
yeah, and we have one every year, or a pair of them that nest in our area.
We used to have one that was down by the garden and sang to us
Yeah.
when we were gardening.
Mhm.
But I live mostly indoors now. I can't walk
Yeah.
very well outdoors, and I haven't been down to garden.
Mhm.
Well, our bedroom window, it's got a roof underneath it,
Yes.
and we got a stray cat that's been coming to our house twice a day for 4 years now.
You like cats, probably. I
Well,
know.
Jenny's a great cat fancier, so
Yeah.
my father always claimed to be, but I'm not sure that he was. But
You're not sure that he was?
well, he used to talk about cats all the time.
Well, I
And
thought.
my mother always said that if she knew that he was going to talk about cats all the time, she wouldn't have married him.
Oh,
Anyway, what I was going to say was that 2 nights in a row this week, or last week, well, we've had a fox up there.
a fox?
Yeah, it climbs up, we have a ramp going down, the cat goes up there, and we feed the stray cat on the roof.
And the
Huh?
fox has been coming up
Yeah,
the ramp?
and the fox has been up there twice that night.
Oh,
One night, I used to we have a hanging bird feeder,
yes.
and it was about 3 years ago, I guess it was, that I woke up one night and I heard a noise and I got up and we have it's a bay window, and one of our cats was sleeping in the bay window, and outside the window was a bear.
Oh,
And the bear had his nose against the glass, looking at the cat, and the cat had her nose against the bear's nose.
oh,
Which, and unfortunately, if I'd known about it, I might have grabbed my camera and gotten a picture of it. But
they're
I was
wonderful.
so startled to see the bear looking in our bedroom.
I should think so.
Yeah. So
I haven't seen a bear around for a long time.
they've been on our porch twice this year.
I dreamt that there was one once. The last one I saw was out under an apple tree here, almost 10 years ago.
Well, unfortunately for us, that he gets on our porch, because I'm so dumb I don't bring bird seed in quick enough, you know.
Yes, you have to bring that. You meant to bring it in the 1st of November.
Well,
We have in Tamworth a biologist of the Fish and Game,
yeah,
and she knows about managing bears. Black bears aren't aggressive, and if you don't attack them, but they will, if they find food, they'll do anything for food.
well, the biologist's name is Chris Clyne, incidentally.
Chris
Yeah.
Bontates now.
Yeah,
She's Chris Spontaneous now.
but it was Chris Clyne.
Yeah. Is there any, are there any birds or wildlife that you used to see that you don't see anymore?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
whippoorwills is one.
Whippoorwills.
Yeah.
Mm.
Been a long time since I've heard one even, but
The birds change.
yeah.
There were no towies, and then suddenly they were just everywhere for 2 or 3 years, and then it's rather unusual to see them now.
We have towies most every summer.
Yeah,
Um,
we have a song sparrow out here, a yellowthroat, and robins, of course, bluebirds, tree swallows. We're fairly near the woods. We aren't really open fields. Orioles have never nested here. They've been through here, but never nested.
I heard wood thrush this morning.
Oh.
You did?
Now, we had them down to the south of my house for a number of years, and then for 2 years The last 2 years I hadn't heard any at all. And,
There've been less wood thrushes.
well, I think that's what it is maybe, but I heard one this morning, but it sounded up this direction.
Good,
So you may hear them closer to home, so,
yeah. Well, you will hear them up on Great Hill,
yeah,
wood thrushes and hermit thrushes.
yeah.
The wood thrushes have driven the hermit thrushes back further in the woods, I think.
But they were, a few years back, they were fairly common, because everywhere I went I could hear them.
But apparently there weren't wood thrushes here originally.
Yeah,
Mother had one in 1918 or 19, and her brother told her she couldn't have fed it
yeah,
because wood thrushes weren't here. And then a few years later they were quite common, but now they're getting less common.
now one bird that is common is the wood tick.
Oh, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But you know
that,
we never used to have wood ticks.
they never, but I used to hear about them they're being down in Cape Cod.
Oh yeah,
And
those
I
are
said,
sad
and
ticks.
I hope nobody comes up from Cape Cod with a dog and covered with ticks. But I guess they must have. We sure get them now.
Well, this dog Cinders that we had was owned by some relatives down in the Cape, and she had a lot of sand ticks, and they couldn't control them. So they picked them all off and gave Cinders to us,
Yeah.
because we didn't have any ticks then.
Well, Cinders was. Then after Cinders you had another miniature snout.
Susan,
Oh yeah, yeah. And my father used to write your mother about. I don't know. There was something about the dog anyway.
Yeah.
There was a lot of correspondence going back and forth.
well, Mother picked blueberries up on
Oh.
Ruby Ledges and a bear coming,
Uh,
and your father wrote the paper about it.
yeah. Well, I tell you how it all. Elmer Cummins, remember Elmer?
Yes,
He worked at the farm, and Elsie Gilman was a correspondent for the Tamworth column and the
yes.
and Elmer and Elsie slept together, and so and then she finally ended up marrying Lyle Carter. But anyway. So when my father wanted to get anything in the paper, he'd always tell Elma to tell Elsie, and
Well, that was a
so
good way of doing
that's
it.
how it would get in the paper. So
Well, he wrote up that encounter on Ruby Ledges.
yeah,
And that got in the paper certainly.
That was your mother
And
encountering
he said
a bear?
Mrs. Steele went on picking blueberries in her indomitable way.
well he didn't. He always used to put the thing in that Susan Steele did such and such a thing,
Yeah,
and people were saying, "Oh, who's this Susan Steele?" You know that.
the only dog we
He
ever
never said it was a dog.
No, your father said it would be mistaken for a woodchuck.
I do remember quite a bit of correspondence going back and forth.
Yeah, I can remember that.
Yeah.
But he called your place, we own a Cat's Park Ranch, didn't he?
Yeah, well, I've got that sign in my
I know you
the
have.
side of my end.
Yeah.
But I think Carol Reed had Rawson make. Remember, Rawson was a sign painter up in the Conway area for years.
No, I don't remember.
Well,
at all.
anyway, he had Rawson make the sign,
Oh,
and then he nailed it down to the foot of my father's driveway.
oh,
And I can remember being up at my father's, and a New York car drove in, and there was a woman got out, and she said, "Oh," she says, "I just love cats. Can I see some of your cats?" And my father said, "Madam," he said, "I'm awfully sorry, but just last week we shipped a gross of assorted colors and sizes. That we have nothing left." So,
your father would say anything he thought.
well, you know, I'm telling stories about myself now, but you know, I had that observatory,
Yes,
and I gave it to Kimball Union then.
Yes.
Because it was like owning a swimming pool. All you did was work on it and
I
never
know.
looked through it. And so, anyway, Glenn Evans took it over on his flatbed truck, and
Oh,
the dome went over one time, and the question was if the state police went ahead of it for a ways anyway, because the dome was 12 feet across, I think.
Oh,
And anyway, we came to a place over in over near Ruggles Mine. You know, you used to go in under a railroad bridge, and there was a sharp corner right in the middle of it.
yeah.
And the question was whether that was going to go through the hole or not. I think it was, and be able to turn afterwards. And okay, you already got a tape.
Just 5 minutes.
Okay, well.
You can hear this.
Okay, anyway, but we got it over there anyway. So Kimball Union said, okay, now it's up to you to name this observatory. So I asked my family, and they said, well, obviously it's going to be called the Samuel C. Damon Observatory. And it's,
Why Nathaniel?
well, there's a, because Samuel was spelled S-A-M-U-L-E.
Oh,
And my father had his stationery had his name on it, but then it was Samuel C. Damon, secretary, was on the stationery also.
I thought you said Nathaniel.
No,
Which is
Samuel. And they said, "You sure you spelled Samuel right?" And I said, "Well, it was always on my father's stationery." And they said, "Well, who was Samuel Damon?" And I said, "Well, he was a respected member of my family." And that it was Samuel C. Damon was that big yellow cap that my father had. And my father used to write letters every morning, and probably one to your mother, in fact. The cat was sitting on the corner of his desk. So.
Oh.
And so there was I think I gave the Kimball Union a picture that somebody took of my father holding Samuel C. Damon.
Ah.
So
So that was what the observatory
yeah,
was.
there was name for that.
I think we're near the end of the tape now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you very much, both of you.
Well,
And
I
maybe
don't
we can do
think
this again sometime.
I said much about, well,
That was a good place to start, though, with
Yeah.
Jessie Whitehead. We heard a lot of other interesting things today,
yes.
Well, I think Betty, your mother, was one of the more interesting people in town.
Well, she was very lively
Yeah,
and very talkative.
yeah.
too. Very active. Yeah.
And she loved the outdoors. She got her love of outdoors. She imparted it to all the children.
I'm sure Capeticus on there.
Bye.